So you performed at the showcase,
Yes, I
and
did.
before that, you also went to the conference,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
you maybe met some people from the industry. And first of all, I would like to ask you you feel if you feel like this attending to the conference helped you more than just singing to the showcase and then going back home and not attending to the conference, like.
Yeah. You have a great point there that has already been established in the question you're trying to ask. Yes, it did help me a lot to attend the conference itself because it helped me meet a lot of people, ask a lot of questions, and I got quite a lot of very good answers to the questions that I've asked so far. And the good thing, I think one of the very best things, and I thoroughly commend the organizers of Mastering the Music Business. One of the things that I really appreciate about the conference was that they put at the disposal of absolutely anyone that was attending, whether you're an artist or you're a manager or whatever it is, they put at your disposal people that have a ton of experience, in the music business, and they just put them at your disposal and say, okay, you know what, we've done this for such a long time. If you want to do this for a long time as well, here's how to do it. I'll pick out one very good example so that I can put into context what I'm trying to say. I met this wonderful guy, Scott Cohen from Warner Brothers, and he literally just helped every one of us understand in the most simple terms the future of the music business. And it wasn't anything that I could have possibly thought of, and just knowing that as an artist, that look, what we have right now is like other things that happened in the past is going to fade away and something new is going to come, and this is what is new. It puts your mind in a perspective, as an artist, it puts your mind in a perspective that, okay, you know what, at some point I must make sure that I am ready for what's coming as well, and for me that was truly enlightening.
And after you performed at the showcase, have you got any feedback from music professionals? Feedback as in, oh, you did that great, or you could maybe improve that, or you should come to my show, festival.
I'm gonna name drop again, but I'm just gonna drop the same name. Scott, for example, was running late for my gig. I did tell him about it, and he was like, okay, I'll come through. And very interestingly, it wasn't just words, he did come, and because he was late, he was asking one of the organizers, take me to the Nigerian guy, I want to see him play, And when she came back to tell me, it felt so gratifying, because she was commending me for, first off, talking to that guy, inviting him to see what I do, and fortunately for me, it was a good performance, and he was truly happy that he made it, and he did tell me, congratulated me as well, and told me, look, well done, I really like what you do. And from there on, we exchanged contacts, and it's like, let's keep in touch and make sure that we can make more of what you're doing. And when you have at your disposal people that want to contribute to your success as an artist, it becomes a lot more productive what you do, not just beyond the creation, but how it gets the people that need to hear what you do. So it's very gratifying, for an artist to have these kind of avenues where you can do more than just create and know that your creation has a huge chance of actualizing its value.
Mm-hmm. And for maybe those who don't know you, tell us about your background a little bit. So you came to Romania, you sang to The Voice, then you went back to Nigeria, and now you're part of the Uninvited
artist.
It a record label?
Yeah, it is a record label. The whole thing started off for me when I got convinced to get on The Voice. A very good friend of mine played a huge role in helping me realize how important it was for me to just try. And fortunately for me, I took to his advice, and pretty much, people just started coming together. My trainer then, Smiley, helped me hugely by putting me in a studio where I could work and I could just see how the process of creating music, goes or is done. And from there, I started to just pick up naturally, how things are done. And for about a year or so, I spent a lot of my time trying to write and understand the perks of writing, and also how to create melodic lines, and understand how I could transmit whatever idea of melody or whatever idea of production that I was having in my mind to the producer, so much so that the producer could interpret what I was feeling or the direction I wanted to go to, and actually make it into an actual record.
Yes.
So that was hugely helpful for me. Eventually I had to go back to Nigeria, but then after a year and a half I decided to come back, and I did exactly the same thing. I went back into the studio after writing a lot in Nigeria. I wrote a lot of songs in Nigeria, and I started showing off the songs that I've written. I was, this is good, we have to improve here, and and so on and so forth. And after about another year of working, and just creating, everyone is like, oh dude, man, we have so much good stuff. I think it's about time we started putting one or two things out. Let's see how the audience will react. If we have an audience that would actually react to this kind of music. And fortunately for us, we've been doing okay. We've been on the top 20 of Dance FM 3 times. Once with a remix to one of my singles, and another time with a feature, and last year
featured by BBC, right?
Oh yeah, and that as well.
That's awesome.
We'll probably get to that, and and on 2018 we were in the top 50 songs that were played on Dance FM. Like, we were somewhere about 20 or something like that. But it's still ridiculous feat for a newcomer in the industry, to have radio plays, and so much radio plays that you get into the top. For me, that was absolutely fantastic. And of course, in the meantime, BBC happened as well. A reporter wrote me and was like, look, I've heard your story, I've seen what you've been doing, and would like to talk to you about what you're doing. And it's nice to have your work get out there, so much so that some of these very important bodies, especially in the media, come along and say, okay, let's tell us your story. So that for me, that's absolutely fantastic.
And one last question.
Yeah, please.
For you already have music out, you already have gigs. What would you advise young, I wouldn't even say artist, the young person who sings, who maybe knows how to create music but never released anything and has no online activity? What do you think would be the first step for him?
Well, one of the things that I've learned at the conference this year is ensuring that we're not just putting out music there, regardless whether it's good or bad, or and that's another thing I couldn't get an answer to, what exactly good music is and why music is bad. Anyways, one of the things I've learned is that whatever you're putting out must also come with a sincere desire to engage with the people that are going to listen to it. And that desire must also be followed up with, actual engagement, and personally, that's not something I've been doing, I've always thought, and I've always believed that, yes, my art will speak for me, my art will communicate, my intentions to people that listen to me, but then it's more than just that, to create a consistence rather in your art, in your artistry. It's very, very essential that the people who listen to you can communicate beyond the art, So for people that are singing right now, composing or writing, or creating in general, and are looking on and are dreaming to start somehow to transform those processes into a career, I just say start first and foremost by putting music out there so that people know that you're there, and secondly, try to use the product that you've put out there to attract a team of people that can work with you, because if I was doing this by myself, I think I'd have given up a long time ago. I'd have sucked myself into the frustration of creating and not knowing how to go about making that creation a product. Because at the end of the day, music is more than art. It's also business, you know. And now I can get myself out of my artistic complex of, oh, I just want to create art. No, I don't just want to create art anymore. I want to live off the art that I'm creating. You know, I want to make a living from it. So I must form it and transform it rather into a business. And I feel that I'm in a better position to do that right now, not just because I have a team around me, but because I've also learned how I could make or help my team function better, you know, and, you know, achieve this great goal that I want to have of, you know, making music that makes money and makes people happy as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you as well. Thanks a lot.